I'm excited to get into this Simon Aronson magic. There's it's one we've sort of had on the back burner for a while, and now we're opening this thing up, and there's a lot of magic here. And he's really one of those guys that has like these methods that just like blow your mind because they're so clever, and they're routines. There's a lot of stuff to them, but clever stuff. It's really fun.
It's so funny because like I've often thought, well, who the heck are we going to do next? Like we've been doing these for so long, it's like, who are we going to do next? And then you're like Simon Aronson. I'm like, oh yeah, we haven't even touched that. There's probably millions more out there, like many more.
Yeah, there's plenty of magicians out there. So we'll do these until we can't do them, basically,
Yeah. And I mean, Simon Aronson is a guy that's going to go down in magic history without question.
There's no doubt.
Question. He will be mentioned for millennia. Well, he'll be mentioned for as long as magic is around.
As long as card magic exists.
Yes.
Part of the station. Agreed.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, let's check out this first clip. Let's just watch this and get into this thing, and then we can just start talking about what Simon's got going on here. Let's take a look.
I'm game.
The most powerful weapon a magician has is the element of surprise. Because with surprise, you don't know what to expect. And when the audience doesn't know what to expect, they don't know what to watch for. So as a challenge to myself, I'm going to try to perform this trick without surprise. I will eliminate the surprise by telling you beforehand exactly what I'm going to do, and I'll tell you the moment right before I do it, okay? And candidly, without surprise, I'm not sure this is going to work. But we'll test it. We'll use the 4 aces, and I have 2 cards over here that I'll show you in a minute. Susie, I'd like you to pick one of the aces, any one you would like, so just touch the back of one you'd like. That one over there, the ace of hearts. Fine. Okay. We're going to do it with your ace of hearts, and my 2 cards happen to be the 2 black jacks, which are going to help me with the trick. One is going to go near the bottom of the deck, and one is going to go to near the top of the deck. But the important part is that there are probably about 20 cards separating them. And Susie, you chose the ace of hearts. You could have chosen any one of the 4 aces. But since you chose the heart is going to help us with the 2 jacks. We're going to put the heart just about halfway between those 2 jacks. And the important point to remember is that these cards are separated, because I told you I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm going to do beforehand. I'm going to cause all 3 of those cards, the 2 jacks and your ace of hearts, to come together in one spot. And I'll tell you when. I'm going to do it as soon as I push them flush into the deck. Are you ready? You know what to watch for. You know when. 1, 2, 3, now. Did you see that happen? Neither did I. No, well, I told you this might not work without the element of surprise. So I didn't eliminate every surprise. You see, really, I told you exactly what would happen, and I told you when it would happen. But I didn't tell you where it would happen, because it's not going to happen over here. It's going to happen over here. No. You see, over here are, surprise, here's the 2 blackjacks with your.
I love it.
It's a nice little setup, little deal there, little dealio.
That's a nice little card trick. That's a great way to break the ice, to get people into a set of card magic. I think that's a pretty cool thing.
To me, it's more like a closer to me, I think, or something that's gaining momentum to the end. Because when they're expecting it one place and then it shows up someplace else, it's super strong. Right?
Yeah, but you know me,
that's
man.
the tennis match. You know what I'm saying?
You know me, I go full Al Baker when I'm done. I'm gonna move those cards with my mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do to top that. So I would use that to like get a set of card magic.
It's the momentum. Yeah, it's a momentum
going. Yeah. Get a couple like punches in there before you get to the big.
That's a great trick. That was called something about discards. It went by fast.
Among the discards, right? Because those are the discarded cards. It just shows up there.
So it turns up among the discards. That's
pretty clever. It's pretty clever.
Yeah, that's a neat little deal. I like it.
Yeah, it's unexpected. Remember that trick kickback? It was like that thing where it's like you're going to go to another, and it's like it's like a little mini tennis match is sort of going on. And I like those kind of things because it makes if you're just complacent, just sort of watching the magic, it's like a real like shake, like,
Mhm,
hey,
mhm.
magic's happening now, and I like those moments. That's a good one. That's a good one. So let's check out this next one. This is actually a dealer item. I'm pretty sure this is out of print. You can't get them anymore. When they were available, this thing sold hand over fist. So they're out there. People have these things. But this was this thing that Simon Aronson put out called Sideswiped. And this was a really great trick because it looked like it was something that it wasn't. And I don't want to say what it is because you should just go on the ride and see what it is. But it's really, I think it's a pretty elegant card trick as far as like a dealer item that really doesn't look like a dealer item on the surface. I really like this thing. It's really cool. Let's check out Sideswiped.
How would you like to see the world's greatest card trick? Yes. So would I. But we're in luck because I saw in a magic magazine it was advertised as the world's greatest card trick. I sent away for it, and believe it or not, the instruction card just arrived here. It's the instruction card for the world's greatest card trick, and on the back is a list of the secret instructions. Susie, will you help me? I'll tell you what, you can read the first one aloud in a nice, clear voice.
Choose an attractive, friendly, intelligent helper.
So we're on our way. Right. But you don't get to read the rest because the secret's on that side, okay? Now, I'll tell you what you can do. If you'll help me, you can follow along. We can do the world's greatest card trick together, okay? And let's see whether we can. All right. Cut off half the deck. Would you do the honors? Great. Use a magic pen. Did you happen to bring a felt tip pen with you?
I did not.
You didn't. It's a good thing I did. Here we are. You can open that. Okay. Sign the chosen card. Susie, you cut to the 3 of hearts. Okay. I'd like you to make it unique, but just writing your initials right across the middle there.
My initials?
Sure, or your name, or your phone number. Whatever.
Get him, Simon.
That's
I don't know now.
Set up, okay. Retrieve your pen. That's how I got it. Dribble. Dribble. No. It doesn't mean that, and you don't have to dribble it. Dribble, for magicians to dribble, it means to dribble the cards. That means I go like that, okay? So what I'd like to do is this. As I dribble through the deck, just call out the word stop, somewhere in the middle, okay?
Stop.
Right there? Fine. And we'll put your card right about in the middle. I think it's peeking out a little bit. Magician proof the deck. That means I am not allowed to touch the cards. So here, you square it up. So nice, even square. That's it. And since we're going to magician proof it, I'd like you to put one rubber band around the deck each way, just to kind of hold that card in there and make sure that I can't get to it. Have you been tied up before? That's fine. And since I'm not allowed to touch the deck, so that I can take it home, just drop it right in the deck, right into my jacket pocket. That's fine. Okay. Magically produce the card. That's it. Magically produce the card. If I could magically produce Susie's card now under these conditions, that might be the world's greatest card trick. But how am I going to produce your card when it's in the middle of the deck, banded up, and in my pocket? Well, remember, I said the secret's on this side. Do you remember what your card was? I think the three of hearts. Well, the 3 of hearts is the easy part. The hard part is Susie's signature. You see, these instructions have actually become Susie's card. Here's a memento, a souvenir of the time that you witnessed the world's greatest card trick.
I mean, I've never seen that before. That is gold.
It's gold. It's like the reverse of the Cardinal wallet, right? It just
it's just, it's better than that. It's better than that. You know what was fun? I was watching, there's the girl on the left. We've seen her in many, many of these videos, right? Mm-hmm. And once the deck goes away and Simon's talking, when she's in the shot, you're looking at her, it's like she's connected the dots. Not that she knows that what's going to happen, but she's like, how is he gonna, there's no way he, like she's trying to like connect the dots, but he's like, in the passing of the one card, it was over. Right. And so it's just like, and it's funny to see somebody just get crushed like that. That's what I was going to say. You know what I mean?
It's one of the great things about being a magician is
it is really, I haven't, frankly, I haven't seen that kind of thing in a while. You know what I mean? And it's like, I recognize it. I was like, oh, right now, synapses are firing and nothing's connected.
She's about to have the rug pulled out from under.
I know it's going to be bad. What a beautiful trick, right? It's everything about it is just, it's the kind of thing I love to do, because it gives you, it's just by its nature, it's about the audience, right? It's not a lot of table stuff. It seems very straightforward, and it is. And it's just like a pounding like revelation at the end. It's mind blowing. It seems like the card's been in his hand the whole time.
And it's got that element of the magician sort of like pulling the curtain back and letting you get a peek into the world of being a magician without it getting cheesy and without exposure, because that's the problem when magicians have that sort of presentation. There's generally some line that's dropped where you're actually giving something, actually exposing something to magicians. But this one, it seems like, look, I'm going to show you how magic really works, but they're still in effect and they don't know anything about anything when it's over. And I think that's pretty elegant.
Ruse. Yeah, it's all a ruse.
It's all a ruse. Yeah, exactly.
It's the ruse. But it's really brilliant. It's really a simple thing. And like, we've said this many, 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 many times, the force in a revelation is worth $1 million.
That's right. And what a great revelation. Because like you said, it looks like it never leaves their sight. It's in their hand the entire time. Beautiful. Just beautiful.
I mean, it's just clean, beautiful. I would, if I had a stack of those cards, I'd be doing that all the time. You do?
We'll talk later. I have a little stockpile.
Oh, dang.
I saw someone say something about that it is still available. There are still some out there, because it's, you have to have those cards printed, right? Because it's a real bicycle playing card when it's all said and done. So, you need a stack of those things and a couple of other things that are in there, right? Because there's a certain point where you show the instructions and so forth and so on without really just exposing the thing. There you go. Lou just recently bought one. Good for you, Lou. I hope you're
Lou. Like in the last 15 minutes.
And now let's say this, Lou. Now let's never talk about this again. Just put that one in your pocket and just never say it.
We don't want a lot of people to know about this. It's going in both of our repertoires.
All right, well, let's move on. This is a popular plot in Magic that I've seen many great handlings of, but this one is, when you see one like this, it's you realize how clean Magic can be. Simon has taken the idea of the lie detector. You've seen that many times in a card effect. And this one is just super, super clean. And it's just everything about it is just, well, it's like the side swipe. It's just really elegant and there's no rough edges on it. You know what I mean? So let's take a look at this. This is the self-control lie speller.
Thank you. What would be the most impossible card trick we could imagine? Do you think it's possible for a magician to find a card that is merely thought of in a shuffled deck of cards without his ever touching any of the cards? Let's see how close we can come, okay? Frank, maybe you can help me? Okay. All right. We said we need a shuffled deck of cards, so why don't you just give those cards a shuffle? So we already have met the first condition. We've got a shuffled deck of cards. Now, Frank, if I asked you to just think of a card.
She's burning him like he's doing it.
First of all,
totally.
She's
seen enough Magic now.
Oh, yeah.
Card, like psychology. And second, I'm candidly not sure that there's a full deck here. I do want the card to be in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a random number to help you think of the card, and that way the card will be arrived at random, okay? So what I'd like you to do is cut off a small packet of cards, about a quarter of the deck, a third of the deck. Oh, that's great, okay? And take those cards and hold them in your lap. And what I'd like you to do very carefully is count off how many cards you cut to. So you'll know that number to yourself. I won't look because it's important that Frank has a random number that was determined solely by his own cut. You tell me exactly what you have. You know the number? Okay, hold on. You can leave the cards there for the moment, but I don't want to know that number. Okay. We're going to use that number to help you think of a card, okay? Take the rest of the deck. That's been shuffled by you, complete, right? I want you to see if you can spread it in front of you, fan it out as though it were a big giant bridge hand, but you don't have to see every single card. I just want you to see a bunch of different cards, okay? Now what we're going to do is Frank is going to start to remove those cards one at a time. For example, why don't you can see the cards. I don't want to see them. I don't want to do, but take any one you want and put it on face down on the table and count to yourself 1, okay? That's number 1, but to yourself, okay? And what Frank is going to do is Frank is going to continue to remove cards one at a time. And he can see the cards, so he can remove any one he wants, and he'll look at those cards and put them into the pile, counting up one at a time, starting with number 1. When you get to your secret number, that's the one card I want you to think of. That's the one card you have to remember. You don't have to remember any of the other cards, but you have to remember the one card that comes out of your secret number. But when you get there, don't stop, because then I might get some clue. You know, go 3 or 4 cards beyond that and then stop, okay? So here's number 1. You can go on with number 2. Great, okay? Somewhere in here is a card that you are merely thinking of. You can put the rest of the deck aside, okay? Somewhere in here is a card you're merely thinking of. And all we know is that you're thinking of it. It was determined solely by a random number. To make it harder, put those on top of the rest of the deck, so now all I know is that it's somewhere in that entire deck, right? But if I ever got my hands on that random number, I might secretly count them, and then I could work backwards and figure out, so why don't you put those on top of the deck too? All we know is that somewhere in that deck of cards is a card that Frank is merely thinking of. And now it's my job to find it without touching the deck. There is only one way to do that, and that is I will ask Frank what his card is, and he will tell me. I understand. There is a disappointment factor in that. Right. And we said we wanted to do something impossible. So what we'll do, we'll just do the next best thing. I'll ask you questions and you'll answer them. But with every single answer, you can lie or tell the truth, okay? Now I won't have any idea. And with every answer that Frank gives, we will spell his answer, whatever it happens to be, 1 card for each letter. I'll show you what I mean. Pick up the deck. We'll try a real easy question. Was your card red or black? Now before you answer, you know the card you're thinking of, right? Don't forget it. You know the card. Was it red or black? You can lie or tell the truth, but whatever answer you give, we'll spell right here. Okay. Was it red or black?
Black.
Black. Okay, so spell B-L-A-C-K one at a time. B-L-A-C-K. Perfect. Okay. The next question at this point is, was your card odd or even? And you can lie or tell the truth.
Even.
Even. Okay, so let's spell even.
E-V-E-N.
Great. Last question. And I'll commit myself right now. This is the last question. This is where we're going to stop. Okay? Was your card a court card or a number card? You can lie or tell the truth.
Court card.
A court card, okay?
C-O-U-R-T.
Absolutely perfect. We said we would stop right there, correct?
Right.
That's where I committed myself to stop. And remember, we have a card that is merely thought of in a shuffle deck, and I have never touched the cards. But this is the card that Frank chose to stop at. For the first time, tell everybody what card you were merely thinking of, and this time you do have to tell the truth.
7 of hearts.
Turn it over.
That is
Outstanding, right?
devastating. That's the kind of thing that sends people to therapy.
Right. There's no rough edges. There's nothing to backtrack to. He doesn't touch the cards. It's great.
That's
Great.
that's going to be the cause of a sleepless night. Someone's really, I mean, it's so good, so strong.
That's the kind of magic that Simon has, right? All of it's just like devastation like that. Like, wait. And by the time you start to have that question of wait, it's too late. The rug's already gone. It's been pulled out from you under you a long time ago. There's nothing to.
He's been barreling down the road a while.
Yes.
You know, there's no way to go back now.
Totally.
You know? It's just so it's just such a powerful thing. It seems, I mean, as each question happens, as he tells you what's going to happen, you're just like, that cannot be. Right? You're just like, that cannot be.
It gets more and more impossible, and you know it's going to work, which is why you get to that moment where it just it's just a cloud of pixie dust.
You're like, I don't understand.
Magic, I guess.
Yeah, you're like, that's what you're left with.
Right.
Magic, I
How
guess.
else? How else?
Yeah.
Because that doesn't make sense. I don't know how he got there. It's so good, man.
It's so good. It really is so good.
Yeah. And Simon has some things that I think are a little bit more involved, and for my taste, they're a little bit too long-winded, you know.
I mean, I feel like that was a little bit that way.
It was right on the edge, but I think the effect is strong enough that it's okay. You know what I mean?
Well, but I tell you what else. Also, I think he came up in the 70s, 80s. This is, we've said this a million times, right?
Yeah.
It's very indicative of the style of magic in that style of close-up magic, especially in that time frame, And so when we say that, like something like it seemed like that, it's like we're not knocking him. It's just like in our day and age now, times have changed. People are like more on it, and you have to. It has to be. It's not necessarily faster, but it has to be tighter. Let's put it that way. Does that make good sense?
It's like a get to the point quicker kind of thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You gotta frame it up quicker, and you gotta get there a little bit faster. I think
a little less verbose is the key these days, right?
Little less verbose, little less procedural.
Agreed.
You have to cut out the parts or make the procedures not look like it. And I am in no way criticizing Simon Aronson. Let me just put that out there.
Well, but to your point, man, I mean, really, if that script was tightened up enough, just a little tiny bit more, the procedure here is so clean that there would be nothing to balk at, right? It literally is just like cut down on the verbiage just a little tiny bit and just get right to the meat of the thing. And this is like a perfect card trick, in my opinion.
I mean, this is like we started out by saying, it's devastating.
It's devastating.
It would devastate people. Absolutely.
And I think it's the cleanest of this type of effect, because there's a couple of other favorites that I have that are this plot, but this is the cleanest. This is just the best one.
It's just, so good. And he recently passed too, didn't he?
He did. Yeah, it's a shame.
I met him once just in passing, and he was just a super nice guy. I mean, most of these people you meet, they're all super nice people.
Him and his wife are both really, really kind folks to me. And I've studied a lot of Simon's work, and it was an important day when I got to meet Simon Aronson and have him sign my books. And it was when I was really like at the beginning of my journey in magic. And Simon was as cool as a human could be to a young kid who loved his material. It was really, it was wonderful. It was wonderful.
Yeah, he's a guy I've never heard anyone say a bad thing about, although I'm sure somebody, but he's just a really amazing magician. And we haven't even gotten to the thing yet.
We haven't. Well, we're going to start to touch on the thing here. This one is the one. This is like the beginning of it. And really, I remember experiencing something that's very similar to this. There's a trick that's called Fate. For those that are Simon Aronson heads that know about Simon's material, you'll recognize this next trick as being very much like Fate, if you know what Fate is. But Fate, I was in a room full of magicians. It was like the night before the convention started, and Simon did Fate, and I was the spectator. It was my birthday for the whole procedure to occur that we'll see a version of next. But he did the whole thing, and it was the same thing. I was like that girl. It's slowly like occurring to me what's going to happen with this thing that's in my hand until I go, wait a second. No. Yeah.
Before you jump in, we got two questions. Let's clear them up just real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
John Gasman is asking, title of trick, please. Drop it in chat. Which the last trick was called what, Alex? Let's start there. Maybe.
The last one was the self-control lie speller. If you're looking for an attribution in one of Simon's books, yeah, that's the title. Self-control lie speller. And then Sideswiped was the one before that, where it was the world's greatest card trick, where the instruction card becomes the signed card. That was Sideswiped.
Right. And then Newell has mentioned just to throw it out there about the act Simon and Ginny do.
Oh, we'll get there.
Which we're gonna get there. Yeah, it's like another chapter completely.
Another
Like I
chapter.
said,
It'll be after we're done with the card stuff. We'll get to that because it's sort of a different echelon of what
I mean,
Simon is, right?
just FYI, when we got on the call before we opened it up for everyone to join, that's the act we talked about.
Yeah, we were. Yeah.
We're gonna get to it. All right, man. We're ready to go to the next one, man.
Yeah, let's go to the next one. So this is very Fate-like, if for those that know Fate, but those that don't, this is a great birthday card trick. You're gonna love this. This is really cool.
Thank you. You know, like many magicians, I got my start performing at kids' birthday parties. I always would bring a birthday card for the birthday boy or girl, and I made it a special point to do a birthday trick for the birthday child. Can I?
Yes.
Will you play the part of the birthday girl?
I surely will.
Okay. But you can have that card, but you don't get to look at it until your birthday, okay? When's your birthday?
March 18th.
It's not today.
No.
This is going to be a long trick. But just hold on to it, okay?
Okay.
Now, ordinarily, I would do the special happy birthday card trick. It's done with one special card somewhere here in the deck. You can't really tell from the faces, but you can, let me see, you can, where is it? Oh, I think you can tell from the back because it's a little different. You see, it has a special happy birthday message for the birthday child. But again, we don't get to look at this until your birthday, okay? Now, it's really a shame because I think you would have liked this trick. Since there's so many people, why don't we just make believe that Kenneth's birthday has arrived, okay? And this is your birthday party. You got a great turnout here, really. And so we can proceed with the special happy birthday card trick. Kenny, you get to open your greeting card. Okay, and why don't we show everybody what's on the front? It says your birthday card depends on fate. And if you open that card, it says consult the chart at your birth date. And if you can see over here, there is a chart, but actually it's a calendar, a full year at a glance. All of the months from January to December go across the top. All the days from 1 to 31 down the side, and next to every single date in the entire year is printed a different playing card, because every single birth date has its own special lucky playing card. Now, you said your birthday was what?
March 18th.
March 18th. I'd like you to look up the playing card for March to 18, but don't tell me what it is when you get there, but just look up what it is on that chart.
Okay.
Have you got that?
Sure do.
Okay, and now take the deck, and I'd like you to run through the deck, just look through the faces, and remove your lucky birthday playing card, and then show it around to everybody here, but don't let me see it. Okay, while we're waiting, I think Kenna was expecting presents from everybody here. She prefers cash, and if you'd like to pass it forward, I could collect it for her, and then I will give it to her after the show. Just remove your, okay? How are we doing? Not there yet?
No.
Uh-oh.
This is so good.
That doesn't sound like such a lucky card to me.
That's not in.
It's not in there.
No.
Kenna, do you suppose this make-believe really works? I mean, before we began, we removed from the deck one card that was meant for the birthday child, right? Now, we've never met before today, right?
No.
And you've never invited me to your real birthday party. And I'm not your long-lost twin brother who shares the same birthday?
No.
Okay. You know, what, you said your birthday was when?
March 18th.
March 18. I don't know whether you all know that, but March 18 has a special significance. Socrates, Moses, Pinocchio, and Jack the Ripper all share that birthday. But when you looked up on this chart, among all of those random cards, what was the card, your lucky birthday card for your birthday, March 18th?
It was the Queen of Diamonds.
The Queen of Diamonds.
Yes.
Well, then maybe it would really be a happy birthday if, in fact, we did have the Queen of Diamonds.
That is beautiful.
Great, right? It's just it's
So
as
good.
good as it gets, man.
I mean, yeah, I don't know why everybody's not doing that one.
Well, there's a big
Oh.
ticket price. There's a big ticket price to get in the door on that one.
You mean on effort, right?
On effort, yeah. And in fact, that's probably something that's best if we save for the after show, because
Yeah.
that's getting into what Simon's really famous for.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just so. But I mean, if let's just dance around it. If you have put in the effort,
Yeah.
right? Why are you not doing that?
There's
Why
no
would you
reason to
not?
not.
That is a home run of a trick.
It's a home run of a trick. It's definitely one that I've played with many variants of, because, you know, once you do the work and you have what you need to be able to do that trick, you're right. Why aren't you doing that trick? And then it comes down to the revelation, because it ends up being like, well, I guess we can say it's a system, right? Without exposing anything. We can just say there's a system involved.
It's just beautiful magic and strong magic. Here's, you know what I call that? I think there are card tricks, right? And there's card magic. And I think that right there was card magic.
Yeah.
So it's not about a manipulation or control. It's like something happened over here, which caused something to happen over there, and nobody knows how any of it's connected. It's like magic.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And I think that's the kind of thing that Simon is doing, right? Just by the nature of the kind of methods that he's using for the effects that he's doing, they all elevate to that. I mean, just what we've looked at today, like those have all felt like real magical routines. Like there's just, I mean, sure, their card tricks exist, but what was all of that? That's not a card trick. That was more than a card trick, right?
For sure. I mean, it was.
And when you're looking at it like that, it's, you know, it's a different kind of magician. And, you know, that's when I saw him, I realized that there was a different way to be. And I changed things immediately, just started studying and doing more work on other areas to get that feeling of, well, I think Simon is the guy that I got this from. And it's the best description that I've heard for what magic can be when it's ideal, right? You get your spectators painted into this corner, this situation of, I know there's no such thing as magic, but what was that? What else could that have been?
What just happened?
What just happened to me? Right. And I think if I
love that.
That's pushing it right to the place of real magic, you know, where you're getting people to question their reaction, you know. I love it too. I sort of live by it these days.
Yeah, no, I love that, you know, just that whole premise of just like, you know, I know magic's not real, but what was that? I think that
there's no other explanation. Yeah.
It's just so great. You know what I mean? It's just really, really great.
It makes it real world, right? Because now it fits into your worldview. You're looking at it, you're going, I know there's no such thing as magic, but that thing just happened. And that's making me question whether or not magic could be possible. And I think that's it. That's the conundrum you want them to sit in after a magic show, if possible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you look at the trick he just did, okay, there is absolutely no way on God's green earth anybody has any idea how that happened.